right, welcome back. It took a second to seed the bracket, but we are all set and ready to go for our quarterfinals match that's on stream. We got 4 quarterfinals running right now. Great bracket, but the most important thing, Gabe, I think for most of the people here, is that Montevallo and Huntingdon College are playing their 3rd series on LAN in 3 weekends in a row, which is unbelievable, and the series is tied 1-1 right now. Montevallo won here 2 weeks ago, Huntingdon won last weekend in Florence, and now we're here again.
Yeah. So
I didn't rig it. I didn't rig it.
I'm gonna let someone else talk because I'm just a funny man screaming into the mic. That's not my business to deal with. But I don't care if you rigged it or not because I'm excited to see the final, the best of 3, best of 5s, if you will. See who really comes out on top. Montevallo versus Huntingdon is already on the way. Game number 1. I am excited. I
am too. I mean, it was a 3-0 stomp the first time Montevallo came in here and played on this main stage they're sitting at right now. It was a Game 5 win for Huntingdon when they played in Florence, South Carolina on that Peach Belt playoff LAN. Here we have yet to play out. We have no idea how this is going to go. Both teams have taken very different paths to get here, with Huntingdon scraping out a Game 5 victory in Round 5 of Swiss. Montevallo went a fairly clean 3-0 on the day, so we truly have no idea what's in store.
I mean, Montevallo is showing absolutely beautiful work beforehand. We have to keep in mind, it's been a long time since they touched the game. So it just really comes down to, do they still have it in them after, I want to say, almost 2 hours of not playing?
Hopefully. I know these guys are seasoned players. I mean, they're getting on the older side of things, especially Lego and Kuno. They've been around for several years. So endurance is not something I'm concerned about for them, and just being able to get right back into a series I'm not concerned about, especially with the fact that I'm sure they're having fun with this one.
Oh yeah.
Though they could be putting pressure on themselves, I'm not sure, but they're scoring first, so I'm sure they're happy.
Yeah, NK2 slots it in, and I'm pretty sure that was actually a misplay of Huntingdon. I think there's a backflip on accident. Oh, I guess no boost?
I'm not sure. I think Craig Biscuit thought Suspect had it, and Suspect thought the same about Craig. And so a miscommunication on the back line is not how the Hawks want to start this best of 5 out, but they have a 2v1 the other way. Seabiscuit jumps over NK2, but unfortunately has the ball taken away. Sorry, jumps over Kuno. Too many just Ks on the field, but he is stopped.
Yeah, absolutely. Suspect back on the ball trying to find his center, and he is able to. He's going to be stopped, though. Biscuit tries to do something. He gets the demo, opening up the field for Loco, tying up the game 1-1 just like that. All it takes is one demo.
That's it, and a nicely placed shot as well. Loco sticks it right behind NK2, and we are tied up again, and the Huntingdon faithful have now gotten their chance to be loud on the stage.
Yes, I mean, there's going to be a lot of cheers back and forth, especially because there's 3 other games going on. This arena is going to get absolutely palpitated. It just comes down to who can sneak those goals, and it's going to be Lego there who finds the net.
And there's an answer. Montevallo wastes no time getting their answer to Huntingdon's first goal, and that shot just narrowly escapes the front bumper of Seabiscuit. So 3 minutes in, and 2 minutes in, 3 minutes left, and already we are in for a treat.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The real question is, can Montevallo score again with NK2's pressure? Looks like it. Kuno from behind slots it in. 3-1, and we're not even in the second half of game 1.
Oh, that's a nice 50-50. Kuno was just ready for that. I'm sure he's seen that play plenty of times with Nate behind the ball, but 3-1 Montevallo with the comeback potential of Huntingdon and their typical resilience when it comes to losing games. I hope that they're able to rekindle that on LAN here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because I do want to see the game. I think this is the first time you ever don't want a sweep to happen.
Yeah, I'm all for this one going the distance. I think it's what everybody in the facility deserves. There are a lot of Montevallo fans. There are a lot of Huntingdon fans, but those Falcons are the louder bunch so far with a 3-goal lead at halftime.
I mean, especially with how Lego's performing right now, he's just surgically placing the ball into Huntingdon's net. As we finally cross the second half portion, 4-1. Huntingdon has a lot of work to do right now.
That's a good start. Open back wall. Lego has just missed there. And that in the past, it feels like, is a weakness of Montevallo's. Sometimes, and I was just talking to Riley about this, they put too much pressure on themselves. Yeah. Riley's analysis, and I tossed in the fact that they do tend to whiff a good bit in series that they should have control in. So I think you can tell when they start to get a bit in their own heads when it comes to how much contact they're making on the ball. But so far, so good.
Yeah, I mean, look with a fantastic shot there. It's going to be saved by Lego. Suspect, the third man, keeps control of it, sends it out. NK2 whiffs, which allows, actually forces Suspect to whiff as well. We'll see Biscuit at least able to kind of clean up a little bit, but it's not looking good as Lego beats Suspect very harshly. Luckily, Loco's there to keep it mid.
Oh.
But Kono's just there to snipe it through. The open net, just wide open. And Montevallo looking to Brazil Huntingdon in game number 1.
And this is where I'm hoping the typical resilience of this Huntingdon roster is still in effect on LAN today. It's been a rough one for them.
Yeah.
I don't think they expected to have to go all the way to round 5, game 5 to qualify for the single elim bracket. But such is competition, such is Rocket League. And a couple of times last weekend, they did get blown out in games and responded immediately after. So we'll see what happens in game 2. And as well, here at the end of game 1, there's still time to get something going for them.
Yeah, I mean, there is a nice little team pinch coming through. It's going to be cut off by Seabiscuit. Just unfortunately hits the crossbar. That could have been massive comeback material there, but it's going to be the pressure back again onto Huntingdon's side. Montevallo doing so much right now. Lego passes down to NK2, but ultimately does get blocked. A couple little bumps coming in as well. All up to Kono, trying to control it. Able to get it to the wall. And Montevallo playing it beautifully done. 10 more seconds realistically. Then you can kind of call game number 1 a wash. But Seabiscuit does have a nice shot on target, but it's just going to get saved. And that should do it. Game number 1 should absolutely go to Montevallo's way, but looks like they're going to try to put one more up.
Well, you gotta play out the rest of game 1 here, but I think that was the Hawks' golden opportunity to put one more on the board here at the end of game 1. Montevallo came in and did what they had to do, and they will continue to do so. That's number 6 in game 1. Well, it was a wash a while ago, but it certainly is now.
I mean, Lego he is just an absolute monster this game, doing so well. But 13 seconds on the clock. I feel like if you're Huntingdon, you just don't want the Brazil to happen.
I think they just wanted to get into game 2 no matter what the score is. I'm sure it's what they're looking at right now. And I'm hoping they've got each other's backs at the moment. This is the first Montevallo-Huntingdon rivalry match that I haven't been behind the Hawks for. So I hope they know what they have to do here to get back in this series, as I'm up in the booth. I can't help them through it.
So you're telling me if Huntingdon loses this, it's your fault? That's what you're saying right now.
I will take all the blame if they were to lose. I won't take any of the credit if they win, though.
Fair enough. That's a real coach speaking. But, I mean, look at the stats. It's equal on shots.
Yeah.
That's the funny part. So I think it just shows how much Montevallo is just able to find the net where Huntingdon isn't. I mean, Huntingdon has great pressure. They just can't put it in.
Yeah, and their shots aren't the strongest. I think in terms of quality of shots, Montevallo certainly dominated that area of the competition, even with the quantity being the same, and that has to improve for Huntingdon. But defensively, Montevallo are doing a really good job of finding every single gap on that Huntingdon back line. They've got to stay together. They've got to go through their motions on their back line like they know they can, and that is when Montevallo is going to start to struggle a bit more. But as of right now, it's a little bit too easy for the Monteballers. They're looking good so far.
And NK2 once again scores extremely early, but this time, don't think Huntingdon could have helped that one. And you give me flashbacks to the first time these guys have met at LAN.
That's what it's feeling like a little bit right now. I don't think anybody in this building that isn't a Montevallo fan wants UM to come in here and destroy Huntingdon twice on their home stage. But you're right, that's how it's starting at the moment. Though Seabiscuit has an opportunity, and he'll solo that all the way from his back line to the back of the UM net.
Beautifully done. The Crank Biscuit comes alive with the double flip reset. Exactly what Huntingdon needs to get momentum back and to get that energy back in them. I mean, 30 seconds are gone. There's 2 goals, and it looks like it's going to be a third one, but it's just barely off.
And look, if Seabiscuit can come alive, that is a win condition for games in this series. Suspect is another guy that can step up and take over a lobby when it comes to solo plays, beating multiple Montevallo players. And if Loco's sitting behind them playing solid, they're going to be all right. But that is a complete giveaway.
Yeah.
And Kuno is more than happy to score.
I mean, Huntingdon just said, here's a free goal. Essentially to Kuno, and he's gonna be like, sure, I'll take it. I'll take that invite any day of the week, right? So it just really comes down to who's gonna make less mistakes. A lot of times that comes down to it, but especially in series like these where both opponents are so close together, it essentially comes alive, and that's almost a bump, but the triple commit comes in, and it's just gonna roll right on in.
Another frustrating beginning for Huntingdon College. Montevallo again just finding those gaps between orange cars with Suspect and Loco moving up together. And it's an open net on the other end. UM 3 goals to their name, a 2-goal lead in hand, are in prime position to go up highly in this series.
Yeah, absolutely. They're looking fantastic right now. As Crank Biscuit does able to put a shot on, but Loco gets demo. That should relieve all the pressure, but Suspect puts it center. And that's going to be a tough touch from Biscuit.
Loco with an opportunity now. Solo play inbound. He can't beat NK2 though. The rebound incoming. Suspect pop up to the ceiling. Go straight back down
there
and set up
is.
Seabiscuit. And that's what I'm talking about. The individual ability on the ball, setting up teammates. That is what this team looks like when they're on point.
Beautifully done. The coordination there. 3 minutes 20 on the clock. Huntingdon down 1 goal here in game number 2. But there's still a lot to be played. A lot of goals to be had. And there's almost another one there.
Nice stop by NK2. Getting back there on the kickoff. He's a speedster on the pitch. And we'll stop that. But now 2v1 the other way. It leads to an opportunity for Huntingdon. But Loco let that one get away just a little bit too much. So Montevallo can take control in the corner, but Suspect is harassing NK2. So Kuno's going to step up and clear the zone for Montevallo. Suspect sticks with that play and makes a miraculous save. What a read.
Yeah, beautifully done there, but NK2 is able to cut off it. Seabiscuit is there to catch it. Stalling it out as we start to enter the second half here. It looks like Montevallo has a wide open net, but it's just off the post.
And Lego's got no boost here. He's going to dive in. Suspect does beat him. Loco's also up. Suspect still plays the ball to the back wall, and both teams getting a little risky with it. Double on the side of Huntingdon. A 0 boost dive on the side of Montevallo. That is a big demo. It alleviates the passing option for Montevallo despite Lego's nice setup. And the Falcons will retreat for a moment, but that is a clear and a half for NK2.
Yeah, and it throws Suspect off as well. It's going to allow Seabiscuit to go up, but he does end up getting the save. Loco coming up from behind, gets the clear, but he gets demoed in the process. There's been a lot of demos already in the series.
Both sides are looking for demos, and that is what really worked for Montevallo 2 weeks ago when they played Huntingdon in this facility. They just came out and took over that orange goal line, but Huntingdon holding strong right now despite a scary look right there. Suspect and Loco combine on their own goal line, and it leads to a clearance.
Yeah, beautifully done there. Suspect tries to put one up as well. It's not going to happen, though. Seabiscuit sends it center. Does end up cutting it off, but Suspect reads it beautifully. And Loco's up, and he tries to put it into the net, but it hits the post. Seabiscuit returns the favor, and he fakes it out, and Suspect's there to put it in. But Kyoto comes out in the last second, and he gets the miraculous save with 1 minute on the clock. Huntingdon trying to put as much pressure as they can right now. Suspect sends it up. Tries to go for a double touch, doesn't get it unfortunately, and that's going to be a huge miscommunication. That's going to allow Montevallo to almost get another goal. The demo comes through, but it's going to be Lego at the end of the day to put it in, and Montevallo able to get out of that such a dangerous situation. Make this a 4-2 game with 48 seconds on the clock.
Oh, that's one of those swings that can shape series. I don't know how Kuno made that stop on the goal line, how Montevallo got out of there, but they did, and they give themselves a 2-goal buffer to take into the final 45 seconds of Game 2, and they found a clearance to boot.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not looking good for Huntingdon. If they want to score, they kind of have to do it now, but not with the pressure Lego's putting up. And Kuno's there. He sends it to NK2. The triple commit finally works for the side of Huntingdon, but the pressure is still on. And Lego will put it in the net. I'm very confident that's going to secure them game number 2.
It should, barring some sort of collapse off of a couple kickoffs here in the final 20 seconds. Montevallo had to fight for this game, but once they got that 2-goal lead, it broke open for them. And in the final minute here, or final 20 seconds rather, I suppose it is still the final minute, Huntingdon again has to look for something to take into the next game.
Yeah, I mean, you have to try and get a goal off at least, but it's just not looking favorable. It looks like Montevallo will indeed secure themselves match point, moving on to semifinals if they're able to get the sweep.
They still have to close it out, though,
yes.
And that is the hardest part in this kind of situation. This is the first time that they've seen a single elim type of series today, and while I don't think that's any kind of narrative just yet, it adds that extra fold of pressure that you have to deal with as loud a crowd as you all have been so far, with playing up on a stage facing that crowd, your opponent's so close to you. It's not an easy situation to stay composed within.
Yeah, and also in the Twitch chat as well, they can be kind of loud here and there. There's been some popping off moments. I see you guys in chat. Don't you worry. We're not ignoring you. But, I mean, it's just in the actual game, though. Montevallo looking to repeat history.
This would be an unfortunate piece of history within Leo Drum Theater, but Montevallo, the providers thus far, we'll see if they get any further along their journey to a 3-0. Suspects, big clear. And that'll push Montevallo to their back wall, but NK2 returns service. And that, well, will be stopped at the midfield line, but Seabiscuit, all he can do is stop it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be extremely slow play right now. I mean, the net is open. And there it is. It hits the post, though. Not able to do it. The Rocket League post, man. They are evil. They're the best goalie I've ever seen. And Montevallo, with a stroke of luck, is able to stay alive. And the whip from Suspect almost secures the first goal, but luckily Seabiscuit has a beautiful comeback there, and Lego reads him perfectly, and K2 up pops it, tries to find something, but Lego back on the ground, able to 50 it out, but the comeback, the cavalry is there for Montevallo. As Suspect sends it center, it's not going to happen with Lego denying it there.
Huntingdon, I feel like, has to stay composed right here. They can't overstretch for a goal. Or maybe Seabiscuit can. It's another wonderful solo effort from Seabiscuit. He gets through NK2, and Kuno is dead to rights sitting on that goal line. He even had Suspect in tow just in case.
Yeah, I mean, beautifully done from Seabiscuit. I mean, I haven't seen much, but it feels like this day was all Suspects, and finally feels like Craig is coming alive. It's really when Huntingdon needs it, because if they want to stay alive, they need the reverse sweep. So they had the 3 minutes and 40 seconds to play around here, and Suspect gets a nice little air dribble.
And they need all three of them to come back, Loco included. He is typically the more quiet player on the roster, but he can have his moments as well. Set up that shot from Suspect 2. Sets one up for Seabiscuit in kind. It's an open net, and Huntingdon add to their lead.
Beautifully done. Just kind of plays it simple, and it's working out. But the scary part is there's still 3 minutes and 20 seconds to be had.
And Montevallo have won the kickoff. Kuno has a full boost tank and a pass down to Lego. He doesn't beat Suspect, though. Still, Montevallo have been backed up all throughout Game 3, though if they get back to the kind of possession we saw them have the first couple of games, then maybe there's a way back. But at the moment, Huntingdon are putting quality looks on target, and that has to continue for the Hawks for the next 2.5 games.
Yeah, I mean, that's the scary part, though. You can do it once, but can you repeat it, especially when the pressure is on? K2 is able to take it slow. It's going to send it to the backboard. Who's going to be there? Looks like it's going to be nobody, as the kind of 3 Huntingdon players all on the ball at the same time. Hopefully they're able to spread it out. There it is. Loco able to clear it out and allow the reset to happen with Suspect getting a nice dunk.
Seabiscuit cuts that back towards... Suspect was in the area. Loco's there now. Montevallo, though, going to clear. Lego just puts that ball hard off the back wall for NK2, setting up Kuno. He'll look to the crossbar. It's an open double opportunity, and Kuno hits it. You cannot give him that.
No, sir, not against someone like Kuno. Absolute beautiful work there. No boost in the tank on the side of Huntingdon. And it's going to be 2-1, man. 2 minutes 17 on the clock. There is still lots of Rocket League to be had. We are in the second half, though.
Okay, Seabiscuit is there this time. Oh, he does end up missing that ball from Lego, and Kuno's in again. This time trying to set up an NK2 or a Lego, whichever's able to commit to any kind of shot or possession touch. It is Lego out to the side to reestablish control for Montevallo, which they have in full force. They're looking for demos or bumps on the goal line. They had 2 players headhunting, but it does not work. Huntingdon have learned from their previous excursion on home turf against Montevallo.
But not against the double commits, because that could be huge, because it does end up leading to a counterattack. But luckily, Loco is able to get there, and Seabiscuit's owner's back with a demo as well. And once again, we see a lot of Huntingdon players on the ball at once. But, I mean, I feel like Montevallo is just taking it slow, so Huntingdon is allowed to do this. Loco tries to be NK2. It's not going to happen there, but nice. Beautiful read from Suspect. Tries to send it down, but it's just not going to happen. Luckily, Loco beats one, and Lego takes it extremely slow.
70 seconds now between Huntingdon and a potential game 4. This is a big opening. Seabiscuit and Lego 1v1. Seabiscuit can't flick, though. Nice stop out of Lego on the goal line for Montevallo, and now he's got no boost, but an NK2 to his left. And that pot shot from NK2 is stopped by Huntingdon. Loco intercepts. He's got no boost, but he's still found a way to get that ball on frame, though Lego finds another save to add to his total.
Yeah, I mean, 40 seconds, though. The pressure just has to be on. Can he get the 50? Yes, he can, but Kuno is there. NK2 looking to put a shot on. Suspect's there to block it twice in a row. Lego takes it slow. Tries to astral pinch it, but just not going to happen. It's going to get put down to the ground. Kuno catches it. He has to score right here. But unfortunate flip with, and that's going to allow Huntingdon to relieve a lot of pressure right now. Kuno with a smart rotation, though, is able to catch it. Suspect tries to stall it out for the last 10 seconds here. Able to get one last touch, sends it to Loco, who puts a shot on target. 5 seconds.
Pass across to Lego, shot on, but it's denied by Suspects. And Huntingdon gets the ball to the ground. My heart about leapt out of my chest seeing that opportunity for UM. But Huntingdon will not be swept this time around.
Not this time, but we were saying a little bit earlier, we're trying to do a little bit predictions.
Sure.
Because this is a huge series, because this is pretty much, I think, the season closer.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And I said, if I was to put money, I would say 3-1 Montevallo.
Okay, you see, Huntingdon has had a down day. Montevallo's had a very up day.
That's why.
I think I also favored them coming into this series, but look, it's been a long day for both sides.
Absolutely.
Anything is possible at this point. With any kind of momentum you get on your side, Montevallo here, though, has to be so careful not to get in their own heads, because they've been reverse swept a couple of times this season against teams that they shouldn't have been reverse swept by, teams lesser than this Huntingdon roster. So the Falcons have to be careful, and Huntingdon have to keep going. They have to keep playing for each other. They can't get too aggressive, but they have to keep the pressure on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the reality is these teams are so equal in skill, man. Like, no matter what, you are destined to have a good game in series, and that's exactly what we're having right now. And Kuno's able to score the first goal, just like in games 1 and 2. He comes up big when Montevallo needs it. But with 4 minutes and 30 seconds, there's still so many goals to be had.
And I'm sure those goals will all be scored. Huntingdon and Montevallo have a couple of electric offenses on them when they're able to play their offense. At this point, both sides playing decent on their back lines, but this is the type of game that can break a series open when it comes to exploiting those gaps on either side's defensive end. Huntingdon nearly did it right there. Montevallo with an opportunity now. Kuno across to NK2 are stopped by Loco. What a block by him, and then the follow-up from Suspect is phenomenal. It gets the Hawks out of dodge.
Yeah, very good there. Loco unfortunately whiffs that one as the ball almost comes to a complete stop. Suspect and Seabiscuit finally able to get it out. He's able to pass his center, but nobody is there. But it's going to be a tough touch from Kuno, and Loco's going to absolutely eat that up.
Oh yeah, so will the Huntingdon fans. That is a massive equalizer, because in a game like this, in a moment like this, the further away that your opponent in front gets away from you, the worse and worse you feel, and it's difficult to keep a positive mental at that point. But Huntingdon get a much needed equalizer. Can they stop Montevallo further though? We'll see.
Yeah, it all comes down to this. Double commit does come out. Lego in an awkward situation, though, not able to follow it up. And Kuno not able to win that 50, but luckily NK2 was behind his back. Probably looking to drop it to Lego, but he decides to go to the solo play instead, which I don't think was the right call, but it's the call he made, and Suspect's there to put it through. Huntingdon takes the lead 2-1, but 3 minutes on the clock, man. We've seen so many goals in this series already. Who knows, man?
Like you said, I'm sure there are a lot more in store for us with all of this clock left to burn in Game 4. But for now, the Hawks have an advantage. Falcons look to respond. NK2 flicks for Kuno, but Loco denies. Big save for Huntingdon.
I mean, Suspect puts another shot on. NK2 does get a nice cheeky save, though. Kuno sends it out, forces Seabiscuit to go up, which he's going to save with relative ease. He's looking for a counterattack, but those demos from side Montevallo could do it. It's right here, right now. He pops it up, but Suspect with a fantastic clear, but the pressure is still on. And it looks like Lego's able to slot it in just barely as we enter the second half of game number 4 with 2-2.
I don't know how he got this to go just over the nose of Suspects. Lego comes up big for Montevallo. He kind of stole that for him to get him level with Huntingdon again.
Yeah, I mean, it's also a huge counterattack. The breath, I feel like everyone just kind of froze there. NK2 pops it up. This could be devastating. Kuno's there, and he takes the charge, taking the lead away from Huntingdon 3-2. Man, there's still so much time to have, though.
Back and forth, we continue to go. It wasn't going to be easy for either side to either win or force a 5th game here. And difficult it is, but off kickoff again, Montevallo find an advantage. This one is stopped by Suspect, but Huntingdon need a clear now. They've lost so many kickoffs that have given Montevallo the offense to set up some of these goals, but that clearance is found and everyone can settle back in.
Yeah, absolutely beautifully done there. NK2 trying to keep the pressure on. Biscuit tries to send it out, but it's not going to happen. Kuno there, but it's going to be a great save, and it's going to be a good shot. The demo comes through as well. Luckily, Seabiscuit's able to kind of slow it down with 0 boost. He's doing as much as he can. Suspect pops it up, but nobody is there to receive it, so Kuno's able to take its time. Loco cuts it off. He's trying to reveal some sort of pressure. Suspect with a nice shot, trying to dunk Lego. Not going to happen, as it looks like it's going to be another goal for Montevallo here if they're not careful. But luckily, Loco is able to win a very nice 50.
NK2, though, using a couple of flip resets to keep control for Montevallo, and Lego will set them back up. NK2 misses contact there. That leaves Kuno in a bit of a precarious spot, but he does well in transitional defense, and again, comes up with a block with a little bit of boost that he had left. He'll put this ball towards Loco, who finds Suspect across the pitch. He goes back wall. Suspect can't find another touch. Seabiscuit again just tries to plug that back wall and force a mistake out of Montevallo, but Falcons are unrelenting at the moment.
Yeah, and K2 on the ball like that is so scary. Luckily, Suspect's able to cut it off. The shot is just off, but just buried. A good demo coming through. Should relieve some pressure. It's gonna be a floater. Moko with no boost though. It gets demoed. These demos are absolutely unrelenting, but it's a nice snipe coming in from Suspect, but it's just barely off. 30 seconds on the clock. Lego stalling it out. Sends it to Kuno, who's there, but Seabiscuit cuts it off. Loco trying to get there. Suspect as well. The pressure is on. The demo comes through. That could be exactly what Montevallo needs to win the series, as it is up in the open. But Seabiscuit's there to catch it. Lego pops it up. Suspect tries to defend it, but it's not going to happen. And Loco whiffs, and that's going to allow Montevallo to make this a 4-2 game. And I believe that should allow them to take it 3-1 and send Huntingdon back home.
Oh, that one hurts. We're home already, Gabe. So I don't know about that one, but they might be heading home a little sad. Still, 10 seconds to go here. Seabiscuit needs to come up big, coast to coast in the matter of 5 seconds. It's just not happening. Montevallo, they take the season series against Huntingdon, and they end it on their terms, advancing to semifinals. And they will play the winner of UAH and UAB.
All I'm going to say, I called it the 3-1.
Sure.
But, I mean, I do have to still give props to both teams. I mean, I think that is a fantastic way to end a rivalry of the season. I mean, Montevallo, it does squeak it out, but they had to try this time. It wasn't a sweep like it was before. No deja vu. And Huntingdon just feel like they came up short. The endurance was so tested. They were on onslaught after onslaught. Montevallo coming up fresh, just humongous plays. So huge shout out to Montevallo for moving on in the brackets. But for Huntingdon, they are going to have to go back, and they only have the NECC playoffs left. But man, was that a fun series to watch.
And it felt fitting for me to call a third one. I mean, for those that don't know, I'm leaving Huntingdon as the head Rocket League coach after this semester. So this was kind of an event for me to pass them on. So I'm very proud of them. I can't wait to see what they do in the spring and NECC playoffs as well, Gabe. But the Montevallo-Huntingdon rivalry, moving into the spring semester, I think we're set up for some entertaining sets.
Yeah, absolutely. I will be here, and I'm ready to cast it. But we are going to go to a break. I think it is well needed. So we'll be back with semifinals.
All right. We'll see you in a bit.